It's cousin versus cousin with Parks and Recreation star Jim O'Heir taking on his cousin, one of the funniest people I've ever met, Matt O'Heir, in Sitcoms Through the Decade and Johnny Cash Trivia. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be? Thank you for checking out another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. The voice you're hearing is mine. My name's Ryan Buds. I am a comedian. I'm a trivia host, and I'm a television producer. And this is my podcast where I have two friends going head-to-head in two different trivia topics in a battle of the wits. And this episode is a very special episode. We have one of our biggest names yet on the podcast, Mr. Jim O'Heir from the show Parks and Recreation. He played Jerry, Larry, Gary, Barry, etc. on one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. You can watch all the episodes on Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff right now. Catch up. He mentions in the podcast how more people come up to him than ever now that the show is off the air, which is funny, because of all the subscription services. So check out Parks and Rec if you've never seen it. It's one of the best. He goes head-to-head in a trivia contest with his cousin Matt O'Heir, who I went to college with, Western Illinois University. Me and Matt were good friends. When I moved out to L.A., Jim O'Heir, his cousin, was one of the nicest people I've ever met in Hollywood. Met with me for coffee, gave me a lot of tips on how to survive out here, and has just been a great friend in my 4 years out here, 4 years this fall. So you're in for a doozy of an episode. They go head-to-head in Johnny Cash and Sitcom Through the Decades trivia, so you're going to love it. I want to take this time right now to thank several other podcasts who have had me on in the last couple weeks, in the last month or so, to promote my new podcast and to have fun as a guest on their podcasts. So shout out to Sad Clown Radio, Mr. Dale Zawada, who let me on for his 300th episode. They've been doing that show for 6 years or so, and Dale was nice enough to have me on. Thank you, Dale Zawada and Jim Snedeker. The Infamous Chronicles with my good friend Jay. Jay, thanks for having me on as well as a guest a couple times now, and doing some trivia on your show to promote what we do on my show. Thank you very much, Jay. Check out the Infamous Chronicles. Check out Sad Clown Radio. The What It Do podcast, new friends of mine, LGBT community pop culture podcast. Thank you guys, D Money and Aries, for having me on your podcast with a call-in and a trivia contest. Listen to that. All these things will be out probably by the time you're listening to this right now. The What It Do podcast, Sad Clown Radio, Infamous Chronicles, and Foster the podcast. My friend Justin Foster, great comedian from Texas out in LA, doing a life advice comedy podcast with his good friend Christy. So Christy and Justin, thanks for having me on Foster the podcast, where we did a live stream that you can watch on my Trivia with Buds Facebook page, and you can listen to all these things on iTunes and however you consume podcasts. A couple more here. The Shin Soo Choo podcast, which is about baseball and rock and roll. My friend Gabe Estel from Chicagoland had me on with two of his buddies to do some trivia and talk about living and working in LA. And last but not least, the Crab Diving Network, who streams my podcast every weekend on Friday or Saturday night on their 24/7 streaming service for their show, the Crab Diving Podcast. Ryan Pfeiffer, thank you so much for having me on your show and for hosting my podcast. A couple quick things coming up. Bingo with Buds. That's a new thing I'm starting. If you like bingo, if you like lotteries, if you like chances, come play Bingo with Buds. It's kind of a spin-off of the Trivia with Buds stuff, and you don't really have to know too much to play, but there will be some trivia and name that tune and get up and do stuff, kind of activities throughout the bingo night. So it's not your normal bingo night. It's a lot more fun and interactive. We'll be doing that for the very first time on Monday, August 30th, right here in Calabasas, California. So check that out. Brunch with Buds is also September 18th. September 18th, it's a Sunday, and it goes 12 to noon at Malibu Family Wines in Sunland, California. Come play trivia and win a $100 bottle of wine while you're eating brunch with your loved ones. Those are the big events we have going on. Listen to all those podcasts and get ready for one of the best episodes yet of the Trivia with Buds podcast. It's Jim O'Heir versus Matt O'Heir. You're going to love it. Here we go. Sitting here with two cousins going head-to-head for the first time in a trivia podcast, and in the history of my podcast, two family members battling it out from the south side of Chicago, now all out in L.A. At the same time, I'm sitting here with Mr. Matt O'Hare. How's it going, Matt?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. And my good friend, Jim O'Hare. How are you, Jim?
I'm good. The term good friend, a little pushing it, but go ahead. A little strong.
Am I not your good friend?
A little uncomfortable.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. We've met. Let's just say we've met.
We've met.
Let's leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay. You got the MapQuest directions I sent you to get here?
I did, yeah. And you sent me the Thomas Guide, which I thought was odd. But
Thomas Guide of West Hills, California?
Yes, but
There's
here
a
I
rock.
am.
There's a small cactus.
He mailed him a compass.
Yes.
So this is the first time I've ever had two cousins go head-to-head, and I will explain who you guys are a little bit. Matt O'Hare, I would describe you as the funniest guy I've ever met that doesn't perform on stage regularly. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
That's about right? That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Matt, you and I met, I think it was in college, right? We didn't know each other before then?
No.
You went to Marist on the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of mutual friends, and we both are graduates of Western Illinois University. And
sure.
I think did you not graduate?
No.
That's okay.
I was there.
Did you get the commemorative leather neck brace that they give, like the mascot of the dog?
No, but I do have a tattoo of him.
Very good. I love it. So you and I met probably junior, senior year, right around the time I started doing stand-up. So I just hit 10 years doing stand-up. And I remember I was getting ready for a big show opening for Dennis Miller. And I was doing shows at a coffee house to kind of run my set. And I had you open for me. Was that the last time you did stand-up?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So
You did stand-up.
You've been doing
I didn't
stand-up
know
for
that.
10 years as well. Right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, we have the same career.
I mean, I make fun of stuff in my car on my way home from work. Does that count?
That's mostly what it is. Yeah. And then you just say it in front of strangers. So that's how it goes.
Just while I'm on the train, I just start.
Wait, am I allowed to jump in here?
You could jump at any time.
Okay, what did you do? A set, like a 10-minute set, or what did you do?
It might have been like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of material, or just kind of winging
It was
funny
material, yeah.
It was about living in college.
Wow, never knew that.
It was
That's cool.
It was about me sweating a lot and having my anxiety set off. I think that's what it was about.
I bet you
Nice.
there's a tape somewhere. I bet that is tape somewhere.
I hope
right?
not.
Sure. We're going to play it right now.
Oh god. Actually, that's like that year of college. Actually, is that's like in the classified section of my life. Yeah.
And Matt, you and I went to Western, and then when I was moving out to L.A., I was talking to you about shows that I was watching, and you're like, hey, you got to start watching Parks and Rec. They added them all to Netflix. And I was like, I've never seen it before. And I'm like, I heard the first season's not that great. Does it get better? And you're like, oh, it gets so much better. And then I started watching that. And then actually, when I had posted that, this was a public post on your wall, I think. You were like, I was like, does it get better? And then, Jim, you jumped in, I think, on the post, and you said, yeah, it gets a lot better hanging there, Ryan.
He said no.
And I was like, wait, who's this? And I'm like, oh, that's his cousin who's on the show. And then my mind was blown that I was talking to a celebrity on Facebook, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, that word, too, you should look up.
What, celebrity?
Celebrity. You might be confused as to how that works, too.
So when I moved out here to L.A., I didn't know much of anybody, and I had some questions for you, which is pretty much what I do when I want to know anything. I just ask people questions that do the things that I want to do. And you were kind enough to meet with me at a Starbucks on Riverside Drive in Burbank, California, not too far from my house at the time. And we were very kind, and you got me an extra gig on the show Parks and Rec during the wedding second to last season episode, the 2-episode arc. So I had like a full week of extra work.
Yeah,
and it was
great.
awesome. And I got to meet all these amazing people.
You were tuxed out.
I was
You
all
had the tux
out.
on. Yeah.
I went to a small place called Hubba Bubba in Burbank and bought a vintage tux
That's
for
right.
$40. Yeah. And I still have it. I wore it to a wedding a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
But yeah, you were just one of the most pleasant people I've met. especially
How
out here.
dare you?
Yeah. And
You know what? I'm not putting up with this. Goodbye.
Now you're sitting in my house. So thanks so much for being here, guys.
Jim O'Hare's secret monster.
Exactly.
Most unliked man in Hollywood.
If you don't recognize Jim's voice, he was the character of Larry, Gary, Jerry on the show Parks and
Terry,
Recreation.
Barry.
Terry, and Barry.
Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
And that show was on for 8 seasons.
725 episodes.
My God.
Yeah, my God, that was crazy. Yeah, we were out there a
How
long
does
time.
it feel to be such a big part of television history? I mean, once a show hits syndication, you are a part of TV history forever.
Well, what's cool about Parks, I think, and I'm only saying this from what I've heard, it's kind of become a bit of an iconic show.
Yeah.
So it's not just another sitcom that came and went.
Exactly.
So one year Time Magazine called it the best show on television. So we had a lot of good press. I thought after a year, because we've been off the air for a year now, that things would calm down.
Yeah.
As far as the recognition, when you're out to eat and at airports and stuff, it has gotten crazier than ever because of Netflix and Hulu, and we're on 3 different stations during the day. And because of it, it's crazier than it's ever been.
Sure.
But the people are always such super fans that it's awesome.
Yeah.
They're all great. It's wild.
I also think with the syndication thing and like with Netflix and everything, like I saw shows that were off the air for years. Like when I was a kid, I'd stay up and watch MASH all the time.
Yeah.
All in like just on, I don't even remember what it was on in Chicago, but I saw every episode.
Yeah.
Years after it was off the air, I wasn't even alive when it ended, and.
I would imagine, too, that like a show like Parks, because it has such a cult following and specific audience, and like you're somebody's probably told you to watch it or you've seeked it out in some way. It's not like a Big Bang where you're just going to go, Sheldon, hey, there's Sheldon. Hey, Sheldon.
Yeah.
Like yelling at the guy. Or
Exactly.
like Matt told me a story about yelling at Richard
Oh,
Dean
yeah,
Anderson.
I was an asshole the first time I came to L.A. So, I mean, I was like 18.
Well, don't rule out this time either.
Yeah, right.
I mean, just so we clear that up. Yeah.
I was 18. I was here. This whole story encompasses how cool I was in high school. We were here for a band trip. We played in the Rose Bowl parade.
Oh, boy.
And, the girls loved me. But
I hear you play the flute.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. At
the skin flute.
At the
Continue. I'm being a child.
I was at LAX and I saw Richard Dean Anderson and I got super excited, but I couldn't remember his name. So I went, "Oh, it's MacGyver," and he just looked at me like, "Really, dude?"
Yeah,
like,
you can't,
and then I thought to myself, like, "Yeah, that was kind of not. that was really rude."
Do you ever get? Would you? I guess that's a good question. Would you rather have somebody go, "Oh, hey, you're Jerry on Parks and Rec, right?" Or would you rather have them go, "Hi, Jim O'Hare"? Like, what's the
hi Jim throws me because then I feel like I know them.
Yeah.
Like I'll literally, because I'm terrible about remembering things.
Yeah.
So I'll be like one time I was taking a piss at O'Hare, and the guy a couple stalls down goes, "Hey, Jim." And I go, "Hey," thinking, because who would just say, it just seems so random.
Of course.
And so then we both finish up, we're washing our hands. He goes, "Yeah." And then I realized I have never met him. He's just a fan of the show. So at least when they say Jerry, I know what it is.
There you
go. And if they say Jim, it confuses me.
Jim, let's get some quick background on you. I know some of it. You started at Second City?
Well, I trained there. I didn't ever work for them. I trained at Second City.
And you did a lot of radio in Chicago in the early 90s.
Well, I did. I worked in Chicago. There's a place called The Loop at the time, and it was
that was the
Brandmeier.
That I
There you go.
97.9.
Exactly.
Johnny B.
Johnny B.
Yeah.
I did a bit with Johnny B. A couple bits with Johnny B. A bunch of stuff with Buzz Kilman.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy, I can't think of her last name now. So I did a bunch of that stuff, and then I actually went and became a DJ in Rensselaer, Indiana.
There you go.
Good morning.
Beautiful Rensselaer, Indiana.
Beautiful St. Joe College.
Right.
I did that for a while, but then the Second City thing started, and that's when I knew that's what I wanted to do.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love hearing you on shows out here before it went off the air. Loveline. I remember I was driving around and they're like, our special guest tonight, Jim O'Hare, and I'm like, Jim O'Hare is going to help people with some sex. This is great.
No, there were some horrifying things going on that night.
Oh, what do you mean, just people
one of the
calling in?
calls
With
was
you or
Have you
No.
ever-
I mean, I was because of course, as it turns out, I was masturbating during the show, and Doctor, what's his name, Doctor Drew is so like, "Oh, don't do that, come on."
He's a prude.
You hear what they're talking about on this station? Yeah. No, that was an interesting.
Don't be so
evening, yeah.
suburban,
Is that
Dr.
off
Drew.
the air?
They Drew and Mike, the last
Yeah.
guy, they ended it at the beginning of the summer, I think.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they
There
were
we
just,
go.
I think, kind of sick of doing it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that was. I mean,
Well,
that's
Dr. Drew did that for He did it with Adam
years,
Carolla for
25 years.
yeah.
After 20 years about hearing about people's sores.
Yes,
maybe.
it's enough. It's enough. Though now that we're talking about it, I have this thing that just popped up, and I'm telling you, I don't mind that it hurts, but it's leaking like a mother.
Sometimes I just wish you had a video podcast.
No, you don't. You really don't.
Speaking of gory and gross things, Jim, you're in a movie
Yeah.
called Middleman,
I am.
and it is a Kickstarter-funded movie, right? Or was it Indiegogo? Or
It was both. It was Kickstarter and then investors.
Sure.
But Kickstarter, we raised $153,000. Yeah.
And that was all shot last summer. And now the
Yes.
movie is making its rounds, and it just
making the
closed out
rounds.
the Seattle or opened up the Seattle?
Closed the Seattle Festival and won. which was the
God,
biggest
that's
surprise.
insane.
We won the Grand Jury Prize for New American Cinema. We never. I always keep saying to people, we never talked prizes. We just wanted to get in, and we had been turning down a bunch of places because there's all this stuff about where you premiere, and so we have a publicist who said, if you get into one of these 10, we'll take it. And then Seattle was on there, and we took it. And that was it. And then we won the damn thing. So
phenomenal.
So now we are in 2 weeks opening the Portland Film Festival.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah, and there's
I can't wait to see it. Matt, you've seen it.
Yeah, it's great.
Matt saw it. Yeah, Matt was at the Chicago screening.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough, because you and I are the best of friends.
Oh,
to
boy,
invite me.
again, the terms he uses are just uncomfortable. But go ahead.
You asked me, you said, hey, there's this part in the movie where I'm on a talk show, and you're like, and we need somebody to sit on the couch like they were a celebrity guest in the show, and I'm now the next guest. Would you want to do that? And I said, yeah, that's the closest I'm ever going to get to sitting on a talk show.
Well, I doubt that.
Well, it actually says on there the guy who got his leg bit off in Sharknado.
Did you actually know? Did you see him when you watched it?
Oh, yeah.
You did see, because you're there for a second. Yeah.
I paused it.
Yeah. No,
that's I'm like super excited to see it. I can't wait. I mean, I'm excited to see the whole movie because I remember reading parts of the script and going, what is this going to look like and how's this going to be?
It's different. It's a dark film.
Sure.
I don't think I'm overstating that.
No, but I mean, that's kind of right up my alley as far as what I enjoy. And it has.
Me too. It's what I like too.
It's a weird thing to say, but it has possibly the funniest death I've ever seen. I don't know. I'm going to sit here and list my top 10 funny deaths.
Yes,
I think the world's ready for a macabre comedy. They haven't, if you think of movies like Shaun of the Dead, or even movies that aren't necessarily comedies, like a Final Destination, where the deaths are so over the top that they're kind of humorous or entertaining. We haven't had one in a while, so I think it's.
Well, you'll see it in September.
Yeah, I can't wait.
You're getting the invite.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah,
and that's going to be a print to the mailbox invite, right? No email, no evites. I don't do evites.
Oh, well, then I won't see you in September.
So
good luck with that. That's why I asked for your freaking email address.
A crow is going to bring you a rolled up piece of paper.
I'm going to check my
wax
pool tomorrow. See a message in a bottle.
But it is. It's an exciting. I was terrified because if you don't like me in this film, you're screwed because it's me for an hour and 40 minutes. I think there's 3 scenes I'm not in.
Oh my god!
So if the movie starts,
whose choice was that?
Who's that?
Whose choice was that? Was that?
I had nothing to do with how it got pieced together, but my character is the line through the through line. But if the movie begins and you're sitting there going, I don't really like this guy, get up and leave because you got another hour 40.
Oh my god!
So
do you have? I feel like you should have one of those white shirts you wear most of the movie, like stained in blood and dirt. Like, do you have one of those like hanging up at your house, like a
No, I do
jersey
not.
on the rafters or something?
If anything, I would have burnt that thing. I was in that sucky, bloody shirt, 100 and something degrees in the desert. It's
yeah, where are you guys in Nevada?
Palmdale. Well, we did Vegas. We did some Vegas, but then we did Palmdale for a lot of the desert stuff. It was miserable.
Yeah,
it was
oppressive.
Absolutely miserable. There was one day, and I say this with all honesty, I'm sitting in the car. One of the main characters is kind of an old car. It's a 1953 Chevy. And so there's no air conditioning and whatever. So it's me with the other actor, Andrew J. West, who's the co-lead in the film. We're sitting in the car, windows are rolled up for sound. In the back seat is a director, a DP, and a sound guy. And in the back seat. So I said to myself while between takes at one point, I think I'm going to die today. I said it thinking, yeah, this is it. Because it's too much. Sure. It's all too much.
What a way to go, though.
What a way to go. But Andy stuck with us, and he's in it from He's in The Walking Dead. He played Gareth.
Sure.
And then we have Josh McDermott from The Walking Dead, who played who plays Eugene, Anne Dudek, who's my girlfriend. That poor girl had to lay underneath me for 3 hours one night. God bless. Normally I pay when that happens. Hello, everybody. But yeah, we're excited about it.
Where can people see this movie in the masses? Like in any dates or on-demand type stuff?
We're doing the festivals because that was always our plan. And because we won Seattle, shockingly, all of a sudden they start calling you from everywhere.
Sure.
So we're going to be all over. We can't even, I can't even though some are coming up, we're not allowed to say it until they announce it.
I see.
There's all these rules, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. But my guess is within the next 6 to 8 months, it will be available for people to see.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And they will really want to see it.
I think so.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Middleman. So Google that. Check it out. Look up the trailer. There's a great trailer.
Great trailer, yeah.
And now is the time in the podcast, now that we know you guys a little bit, we're going to get to know things you're into. So I asked you each 5 topics that you'd be good at trivia-wise. We're going to start with Jim's topics. Okay, Jim? So these were the 5 things you told me you are into. You said sitcoms from the 70s to 2010. That's
pretty much, yeah.
That's pretty broad.
Pretty broad. Sitcoms, yeah, sitcoms.
It's insane to me that I imagine it's got to be such a dream to grow up loving and watching sitcoms and then being on one of the most memorable of all time.
Thankful every day. No, but that's true. I mean, literally on set, I would be like, thank you, Lord. This is because I am a TV guy, so to be on a show that went the next year and the next year and the next year and beyond shocked and excited.
Let's go through the decades starting with the 70s. Say your favorite sitcom from every decade.
Oh, God.
So let's go
I don't know how to help me with this. Mary Tyler Moore?
Sure.
Would that be 70s?
That would be 70s. Let's go.
Okay.
Jump to the
Plus,
80s.
like All in the Family and all this
you got
stuff.
a bunch of favorites.
Oh my God, all those.
Have you seen that Norman Lear documentary that just came out?
It's
really
dying
good.
to see it. I hear it's amazing because he's supposed to be a sweet guy.
I saw it in Chicago, and he was there and did a Q&A.
Oh, nice.
He's still around. He's in the 90s, right?
It's great.
Yeah. And you saw who just died?
Gary Marshall.
Gary Marshall.
Yeah.
Boy, you can't find anyone who will say a bad word about that guy. He was beloved.
Yeah.
Helped with careers. Super supportive of people. Very unlike you, Ryan. Go ahead, continue.
They call him the anti-buds. Actually, that was
he
his
is.
name.
Yes, it's on his stone. The anti-buds.
Remember to put a $100 bill in the jar for the podcast on the way out.
Yes,
it does cost money to do this podcast.
Sure, I can tell by the quality. Okay, so for the 80s, help me. What are the 80s? And I'll tell you my favorite. That would be
Different Strokes.
Cheers. Family Ties, yeah.
Sure.
But Cheers. And then the
Webster.
90s.
Yeah.
No, didn't.
Didn't watch Webster.
Oh, I saw it. But
90s. What do you got?
80s also, I think, one of the all-time best sitcoms to ever be on television, and people either agree with this or disagree, was Golden Girls.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
I think it holds up to this day.
Definitely. And spilled into the 90s a bit.
Absolutely. And such smart comedy, and the acting was amazing.
Great for those characters.
Loved it.
Phenomenal.
Loved it.
What do you like in the 90s?
Okay, 90s would be what? So
I mean, Seinfeld is the big one.
Seinfeld, please.
Right. Friends.
Seinfeld. No. Seinfeld would be above all of
Friends,
those.
starring arguably Jim O'Heir.
Yes, the episode, the one where they get adopted. I think it's called the one with the birth mother.
That's the series finale, is it not?
No,
or is it close?
Couple before it. It's in the last season.
Okay.
And I worked with Anna Faris, who is Chris Pratt's wife. So I met her before he did. So did I tap it? I don't know, America. You figure it out.
Putting it out there. I've heard rumors on the internet.
Well,
that's all.
I know I've started them. Yeah. So
I'm doing this all in Trump talk. I just know what I hear.
Believe me.
Yeah.
Believe me.
He's using his hands a lot.
Very smart people are saying this.
Yes, very, very smart. So many people. Yeah. So I get calls all day.
Yeah.
The next topic you gave me was musicals. You love musicals?
Yeah, I do.
Did you do musicals in high school?
I wish I could sing. I cannot.
Can't do anything?
I cannot. I wish
I can't sing or dance.
I can't do either of those.
Unless it's like the guy needs to be bad for the comedic role. You know,
then I can do it too. The only musical, if it were to happen, that I'll ever be able to do will be Hairspray, because it's always a guy in drag who plays the mother. And George Wendt has done it. Harvey Firestein's done it. A bunch of big guys have done it. Sure. So that will be, if it's ever going to happen, that will be my only shot. And it's a shame, because I have seen Les Miserables.
Yeah.
A little embarrassed to say this, 18 times.
Oh,
I've seen it in London. I've seen it in Florida. I've seen it in Chicago. It's my all-time favorite.
When you got me on the set of Parks to do the extra work in the tuxedo, there was a moment where we were all on the dance floor and the Leslie character, Amy Poehler, was on stage announcing something. So she was thanking her friends, I think, for helping set up the event or being there for her, and everyone was standing there. And I happened to be right next to everybody. So the Les Mis theatrical movie from a couple years ago had just come out with its trailer, and Rob Lowe said, "Hey, the Les Mis trailer's out," and he pulled it up on his iPhone. So I watched that trailer for the first time on Rob Lowe's iPhone.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I'm like, I've been in LA like 6 months. What is going on? I'll never forget. Like I'm surrounded by the cast of one of my favorite shows.
Oh, that's crazy.
You're grinning ear to ear, like slapping me on the back, like, "Isn't this fun?" And then Rob Lowe's like, "Hey, everybody who's standing around me, watch this thing." And I'm like, "Holy cow!"
That's wild.
So yeah,
That's a good memory.
Also my favorite musical now too.
It's the best.
The Mary Tyler Moore Show was your third topic, so you
Yeah.
mentioned it in your favorite sitcoms.
And I love her.
You know a lot about her and her life. And her
I kind of do, yeah.
Very good. Your next topic, Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I have a terrible memory though, but it's one of my favorite things. But yeah, I don't know how good I'll be at any of these questions. I'm really bad at trivia because I have a terrible memory, but I like certain things.
Is SNL something you ever strive to or aspire to be on?
Oh, well, of course. Who wouldn't dream about that? And I can tell you, when I was younger, I used to, without even realizing what it was, I must have heard about it somewhere.
Yeah.
I used to dream about being at a table read with John Belushi. I mean, I literally dreamt that I was at a table read with Belushi.
That's the best.
So yeah, it's always been there.
Sure.
You know, and I really think in the last couple of years, I've really gotten to know a bunch of those guys. The people who come from there are just really awesome people.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been working with Andy Samberg the last couple of weeks. I've worked with Seth Meyers, Fallon. One is nicer than the other, and of course, Amy and Tina, Rachel. There's something special. Those people that come out of there are really great people.
Yeah, it really molds some good talent.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, they're not crazy. They didn't go crazy with their egos and all that bullshit.
Sure. Not too far from the SNL studios, you had the topic of just Broadway. So do you go to New York quite a bit? Yeah,
well, when I can, and I've never been there without seeing at least 3 shows, even if I've only been there 2 days.
There you go.
Yeah, so.
Have you seen, you know what I was enticed to see was Misery with Bruce Willis.
Well,
does that do anything for you?
It wouldn't. Had I been there, there's a chance I would have seen it.
I prefer the Kathy Bates version. So
Kathy Bates is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, this one was with, and she was up for a Tony for it, Laurie Metcalf. And the rumor, whether it's true or not, so I'm just calling it a rumor, was that there was a monitor on stage for him.
Oh, really?
For his lines.
Oh, well,
sorry.
I can imagine that.
No, I can't. No, you're on Broadway, dude.
Yeah.
No,
but I can imagine him do.
Oh, I thought you meant like you think it's okay. Oh, yeah. No. I could imagine it too.
Yeah.
Other than it's incredibly inappropriate.
Sure.
Yeah. You learn your
Why
lines.
would he even want to take the role?
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Well, but if you read the reviews, he shouldn't have.
He'll respond after he listens to this podcast.
Yes, and I hear.
He's on tomorrow.
Is he here tomorrow? Oh, this is uncomfortable now.
Bruce versus Laurie tomorrow. Matt, we're going to jump into your topics. You gave me 5 things, and these are all things that I feel like match your personality. You said the X-Files.
Right.
What's your favorite X-Files episode of all time?
The Smoking Man.
It would put a tie between Jose Junks from Outer Space and Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose.
Okay.
Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose, I would put that's one of the best hours of television ever created. Do
you want to get mad at me? I've never seen the X-Files.
I mean, that's on you. You're just not a good person. But
I mustn't be good either. I've seen a few.
Yeah, I was super into it.
I saw one where Giovanni Ribisi had some sort of lightning powers.
Oh yeah, well that's the other thing is you watch that series now and you see how many people were like. I believe that's the same episode. Is that the one Seth Green is in, or Jack Black's in one of those too? But so many people, it's like, oh, that guy was on the X-Files, and now
Vince Gilligan, a writer on the X-Files, when I make Breaking Bad,
which was also the first time he worked with Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston was a guest star on X-Files.
All comes together.
Yeah, I mean it's.
And I was at a hotel across from David Duchovny for 6 weeks. We were both in in Vancouver. He was shooting X-Files. I was doing a remake of Harvey.
So you stole all his girls, right?
Well, if you ever saw what was going in and out of that room, it was unbelievable. And actually, my sister Beth, Matt's cousin also, came to visit. Yeah. And we were like, what is going on? I mean, one after the other.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're Duchovny, man.
Yeah. And this is before Taya.
Yeah.
So he was free.
And then eventually he's like, let's make a TV show about this called Californication. Where he just had sex with everyone. Yeah. Your next topic was Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
You know everything about Mr. Cash.
Yeah, huge fan. Grew up that was
that's too bad.
Music that my dad introduced me to that really has kind of stuck with me through my whole life.
I was going to say, did your parents was it something they listened to when they were dating and things?
I don't know about my mom, but it's definitely something it's what I remember hearing in my dad's car. Yeah. There's a handful of bands and that I remember it being the first time like I liked music. Is that there's like 4 or 5 bands that I remember hearing in my dad's car. And, I mean, maybe that I'm a big music geek now, and like that's kind of the genesis of that.
My mom just gave Ashley and I her Fleetwood Mac Rumors album, and it's the old one, So I'm like, man, it's such a cool thought to be like. My parents, who never seemed to like much of anything, like throughout my entire 30 years of life,
except ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream. But it's like
especially not your life choices.
Yeah, of course. But it was like they would go to a movie. They went to see The Lord of the Rings, the first one, Fellowship of the Ring, and they walked out 10 minutes into the movie because my mom said those people are walking around the mountains without shoes on.
Oh my god!
Like that's the
it's a valid point.
They walked out of Pulp Fiction because they were talking about oral sex in that opening scene.
Oh my god!
And they're just they like.
Well, to be fair, if that was something that bothers them, that was a good time to walk out.
Yeah. You're right.
Because it doesn't get better.
So I just love the idea that they were shopping somewhere and maybe together or even separately. And my mom's like, I gotta buy this vinyl because we're gonna blast it in the house because there's one thing on TV and we're just gonna listen to an old vinyl. I just love that. Your next topic, Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah, again.
I had to read Fear and Loathing at Western Illinois University for a class.
I've read I think all of his books.
And you've lived a few chapters.
Off the record. But I mean, just something else I'm a big fan of. Just like that's somebody who could.
He was in Backstreet Boys.
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're referencing the same guy.
Could write about the most mundane things, and it would be fascinating.
Hunter S. Thompson and Chris Kirkpatrick used to get some real shenanigans together. He was in
NSYNC. Okay.
Yeah, I was just reading today about how his wife, Hunter S. Thompson's wife, finally returned a set of deer antlers that he had stolen from Ernest Hemingway's house in like the 60s or something.
Legendary.
Wow. It's just weird stories like that keep coming out about the guy even after he's dead. But
we've been doing this podcast for a couple months now, and your fourth topic is something that comes up almost every week from one of the two guests, and it's The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Love The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Are you good at... do you know all the characters? Have you seen all the episodes?
Oh, yeah.
That kind of stuff?
I've seen...
Even the modern stuff?
Not as much. Not as... I definitely have not been as religious about it as I was. But, I'm sure for the first 15 seasons, I've seen every episode multiple times.
Love it.
I should have said Family Guy is one of mine.
Oh, you love it?
I love it.
Have you done a voice on that?
No, I would love to. But I was able to meet Seth, and I'm working, we're in the same film soon.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll get to...
Is he acting in the film?
He's acting in it.
That's awesome.
It's Soderbergh's next film.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, very excited.
Matt, your last topic, Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Never saw it.
Fire and Ice nerd.
Yeah. I don't. I actually have never read the books. I'm just super into the TV show, which people get mad at me for, but whatever. I don't
People
care.
get mad if you don't even like the show. Like you're like, all the season behind, they're like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. Well, it's also I can't even. There's too much good stuff on TV now, almost to where when people tell me
more.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, when people tell me to watch something, it's like, yeah, maybe, but I have shit to do, kind of. I like to pretend I have a life.
It's almost like homework. It's almost like social homework. Watching these things, right?
Yeah.
Like, I got assigned 2 seasons of Goldbergs to catch up on.
And that is priority.
Yeah,
yes. Right.
So at this point, we are going to dive into the 2 topics I chose for you guys based on your choices. Jim, for your topic, we're going to do sitcoms from the 70s to the 2010s. So I got like 3 from every decade. It's going to be good.
Okay.
And then, Matt, for you, we got Johnny Cash.
Okay.
Near and dear to your heart.
And we've agreed that this is the loser has to abandon the O'Hare name.
That's right.
Wow.
Jim, you have a replacement name ready just in case? I can loan
Carrie. I think I'll go with Carrie.
Carrie? Oh,
yeah. I'll go with Carrie if this.
I think I'll do Duchovny.
Sure.
I'll be Matt Duchovny.
Might help out. You never know.
Yeah.
No, I am going to lose. I can tell already because I can't jump into any of his topics. Barely any.
Do you know a little bit about Johnny Cash?
If you saw the movie, you might. But
I did see the movie.
Then you might. There's a little. It's pretty broad.
Yeah.
It's not
and it's probably of the 5. It's my weakest topic, I would say, for general trivia. So
we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Here we go. This is called the trivia.
But just if I do lose, it's because I want to. Matt's visiting, and I want to be that guy, that gracious
Jim, as long as you put the $100 bill in the jar.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Trivia Showdown. Okay, so we're going to start it right now. This is the Trivia Showdown. We're going to start with Jim's topic. Now, how you guys play is you're going to buzz in as soon as the whole question is read. And the buzz-in word, I think, to honor your show, the greatest sitcom of my generation, Jim, I'm going to say the buzz-in is Parks. So, Matt, when you know the answer to a question, you'll say Parks. Jim, you'll say Parks. And you can answer each other's questions, okay? The first person to answer will get 1 point if it's their own topic. If they're right, and if you can steal the other person's topic, you get 2 points. So there's a little bit of strategy involved there. Okay? So here we go. This is the first question. Either of you can answer. It's called Sitcoms 70s to the 2000s, and we're starting in the 70s. What was the nickname of Gabe Kaplan's racially diverse remedial class on a Welcome Back?
Parks. The
what did they call him?
Come on. Oh, damn. How much time do I get? I know it. It's just like all of a sudden I'm panicking.
What's the term? He'd say what you guys, he'd call him.
I know. Oh, God. Do you know it?
I've never seen it.
Oh, God, I know it. Give me the first letter and I'll know it. You don't have to give me a point.
It's an S.
Samsonite.
No. Give me a little hint.
Sweat Hogs.
Sweat Hogs.
It was Sweat Hogs.
0
points on the board.
See, that's my memory. It's terrible.
I think you'll get some of these.
I know that if I wasn't panicked.
Yeah.
But look at what is writing on this.
Yeah.
These are the Olympics.
There's
yeah,
prizes.
right.
Just, I was robbed at gunpoint this morning.
Oh, no.
I had a gun put to my head.
I noticed your head. You bleached your hair.
Yes, because I had a gun put to my head.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that. So
we're moving on to the first Johnny Cash question. So again, Jim, if you know this and you can buzz in before Matt, you can get 2 points if you steal this answer. Johnny Cash, one of Johnny Cash's first public performances was for elderly women in the basement of what kind of building?
I mean, Parks, and
Yes.
I'll guess it's a hospital.
Is not a hospital.
Okay.
can I do a backup guess?
Yes.
A prison.
It was a church.
Okay, that makes
old
sense.
ladies.
He started out doing gospel music. So
There you go.
Yeah, I meant to
Okay.
say church.
So it's 0-0 off the bat. We're going back to
Nice.
sitcoms. We're still in the 70s. In what Midwestern city was Happy Days set?
Wisconsin. Parks.
Yes.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee is correct.
Yeah.
1 point on the board for Jim.
I almost said it before I said Parks. Woo.
Well done. We're going to Johnny Cash number 2. What branch of the military was Johnny Cash in?
Parks.
Yes.
Air Force.
The Air Force. It's 1-1. Matt and Jim finally
He was a radio operator. The first American who knew that Joseph Stalin died was Johnny Cash.
because he did the
Because
SOS.
he used
or
to
the Morse code
intercept Russian signals.
There
Yeah.
you
So
go.
Stalin is dead.
Yes.
Boy. When was that?
We're on tape before what you say your opinion of that is. You might get blacklisted.
Question number 3 for the sitcom side. What was the name of the Brady Bunch family dog?
Parks.
Yes.
Tiger.
1 point for Jim. So that's we're out of the 70s. The next questions will be about the 80s when we go back to sitcoms. Johnny Cash number 3. What Cash song contains the lyrics, "Well, my daddy left home when I was 3 and he didn't leave much to me and me"? Mom and me?
Mom and me.
Mom and me.
Parks.
Yep.
It's a boy named Sue.
Boy named Sue. 1 point for Matt. Did you know that one, Jim?
Did not.
Did not.
Written by Shel Silverstein.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Okay, if this
interesting.
is your
They used to
weakest
hang out?
topic, I'm screwed.
Have you
hang out?
met me before? It's not good. I know so much useless stuff.
At least you have a good memory for it. That's
Yeah.
great.
Do you have a favorite Johnny Cash song?
I mean, that's tough.
What's the one that makes you think of your relationship with your dad the most?
I don't. It might be a boy named Sue, just because that's something we used to hear. Sure. Like it would get played in
And
the
your
car.
middle name is Matthew Sue O'Hare.
Sue O'Hare, yeah.
Yes,
Just
that's
remember
true.
that, yeah. You got one?
No, I mean
That one. That's the one you want.
that. I've been everywhere is a big favorite of mine.
Okay.
I listen to that one a lot. If I had to pick one, yeah.
Jim, do you know a lot of Johnny Cash songs?
No, I do not.
Here we go. This is number 4. Sitcoms, 70s to 2000s. We're up to the 80s now. We're jumping to the 80s. Tom Hanks appeared on the first and second season of what 80s sitcom as the younger alcoholic brother of a mom character
Parks.
named Elise?
Parks. Family Ties.
That's right. 1 points, 3-2. Jim is leading by 1. Matt, here is your 4th question. Johnny Cash. In 1981, Cash had an almost deadly encounter with an animal in Tennessee that left him with several broken ribs. What was that animal?
Not
Not common for Tennessee.
a common animal for Tennessee.
I don't believe so.
Oh man, I have no idea. Parks.
Yep.
I don't know, a deer.
Deer, incorrect. Jim.
Mountain lion.
It was an ostrich. An ostrich.
What?
Sometimes.
Oh, how embarrassing!
Sometimes, hey, dude, those things are mean. Sometimes you fight an ostrich. We've all been there.
Sure. It's 3-2. Jim O'Hare.
You bought it a couple drinks. You think things are going your way, and next thing you know, that ostrich turns on you. I've been there.
Right.
I've been
We're about
there.
halfway through these questions. Number 5. On what 80s sitcom would you find a character named Carla Tortelli?
Parks.
Yes.
Cheers.
4 points for Jim to Matt's 2. So that's 4 for Jim. Matt, here's your next question. In what year did the movie Walk the Line come out?
Okay.
You could buzz in if you know it. Jim.
Parks.
No? Yes.
I'm going to get. I'm going to guess.
Yep.
2006.
Incorrect, Jim. Any guesses?
No way. What year? I think like 67.
No, Walk the Line with the
movie.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
Matt said 06.
He said 06. I'll say 04.
It was 05.
Ah, damn.
2005.
I knew I was
close.
still going to school in Wisconsin at the time. That's all I remember.
Could have got a 2-pointer. Damn it.
You guys were very close there. This is the next question for the sitcom side. What sitcom was about an all-female boarding school in Peekskill, New York?
Parks.
Yes.
You take the good, you take the bad, and then you do something with it. You shove it up your ass because it's the facts of life.
5 points for Jim. It was the facts of life.
The legendary singing of the O'Hare family.
Yes, which sadly is legendary.
I can't wait for the duet in the
Oh,
end of the episode. Number 6. What was the name of Cash's final hit before he died?
Parks.
Yes.
Hurt.
Hurt is correct. 1 point for Matt. He's got 3 to Matt's 5. He could still come back. We got 2 more rounds of trivia after this this first one. So this is on the sitcom side. We're diving back into sitcoms. This is now jumping up into the 90s. Name any one of the son character names from Home Improvement.
Parks.
Jim? Just a
Did
little bit.
I feel like
you got in just a little bit before Matt.
Randy.
Randy is one, and Brad and Mark are the others.
I didn't
1
actually
point
know
for
one
Jim.
then.
No, I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
We're going to say Tim.
Yeah, I think I was remembering like the actors' names.
That's even harder.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Your next question is for Johnny Cash on that side. The country supergroup The Highwaymen consisted of Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and what musician
Parks.
actor?
Chris Christopherson.
That is correct. 4 points for Matt. Did you ever listen to The Highwaymen?
Yeah.
How about you, Jim? You know those guys?
Yeah, dear friends.
You
Yeah.
and Jennings?
Me and Jennings. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Only one of them still alive.
Yeah. WJ to me, but yeah.
WJ.
Very tight.
so much
Very tight.
So much harder to say.
Yeah.
WJ?
Yeah.
WJ.
This is the other side. We're still in the 90s here. Ryder Strong was an actor that appeared on what TGIF 90s sitcom? Ryder Strong is the name of the actor that appeared on what 90s sitcom?
Parks.
Yes.
Is it Step by Step?
Oh, it's not. Close. Any guesses, Jim?
Wow.
Ryder Strong.
I don't know who that is. 90s. I'll say Seinfeld.
It was Boy Meets World. He was,
Oh, never would have got it.
he
Yeah.
was Corey's best
Right.
friend.
Never would've
Sean,
got it.
Played by actor Ryder Strong. No points there.
I just
Still,
named a TGIF.
6 points for Jim and 4 for Matt. We are on the Johnny Cash side. This is number 8. We're almost done with these first 10 questions. In 1960, Cash came out with his 8th album called Ride This What? Ride This.
Parks.
Yes.
Wave.
Incorrect. Not bad.
Parks.
Yes.
It's Train, isn't it?
It is Train.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
Well
made
done.
that up.
Yeah.
It's 5
Thinking
to
about you
6.
lucked out, I'd get 2
If you
extra.
think about it, like riding a train is such a down home country music theme.
Oh,
you know,
Yes,
like
riding
it's-
a wave is more of a
Yeah.
I get
Okay,
it.
we're back to the sitcom side. McLaren's Pub is one of the main settings for what 2000 sitcom? McLaren's Pub.
Parks.
Yes.
How I Met Your Mother.
Correct. 1 point. For
And I've
Jim.
never seen an episode.
Really?
Never.
I played a roller skating hipster on season 8, episode called Ring Up. I had a big curly mustache and I had a roller skate around.
By that you mean they just happened to be filming where you were roller skating that day.
You know, I put my mustache, I combed it out nice
Yeah.
and long, and I saw the cameras and I went out there.
Though I do hear their finale sucked.
I do too, and I was going to ask you guys if you saw it.
I never saw it.
Yeah,
I love the show. I've seen everything except the last season.
I haven't seen the show.
It's a fun show. A lot of great writing on that show.
I'll put it. It's number.
Yeah, put it on the
50
list.
On the,
Yeah.
Number 9. What Cash song is about slowly stealing a car part by part?
Parks.
Yes.
It's a one piece at a time.
One piece at a time. Love that. Learned that today myself. It's 6-7. It's a 1-point difference in the score here. I love it. Number 10. This is the last question for your topic of sitcoms, Mr. Jim O'Hare. What NBC spinoff only lasted 46 episodes over 2 seasons from 2004 to 2006 and co-starred Drea DiMatteo?
Parks.
Yes.
Joey.
8 points on the board for Jim. So no steals this whole time unless
I
Jim
do
steals
want to
this
get the
last one.
credit for Sweat Hogs because I knew it and didn't say it. I just want to say that out
I'll
loud.
scribble it in. This is the last question for Johnny Cash. Cash had a quote saying, "Success is having to worry about every damn thing in the world except what?" Except what?
Parks.
Yes.
Yourself.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Jim,
Guess.
if you can steal this, you'd really probably sink the lead for yourself here. What do you think it is? It's one word. It is...
Say that again.
Success is having to worry about every damn thing in the world except what? Johnny Cash.
Failure.
Money was the answer.
No.
I was going to
Yeah.
say money, actually.
Money was the answer. So right now the score is Jim with 8 and Matt with 6. It's a very close game. We're going to do a thing right now. This is worth 2 points. So, Matt, you can tie it up. Or actually, 6 to 8. Yeah, you could tie it up with this, or Jim, you could really clinch the lead here. This is the combo question. So this combines both topics of Johnny Cash and sitcoms. Ready?
Okay.
Here we go. Combo question. This is for 2 points. It's the combo question. On what 90s sitcom did Johnny Cash guest star as a spirit guide?
Parks.
Yes.
It's The Simpsons.
The Simpsons is correct. And we
One-
talked about how
yeah.
that was one of your favorite topics at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
So that worked out perfect.
That's one of my favorite episodes
to
of The
give
Simpsons.
you 2. So
Yeah.
now it is 8 to 8. And we have one more thing to do to see who wins
Sweating
this
this
trivia
out.
showdown
I am
of
sweating
O'Hare
this out.
Cousins. I can't believe it's so close. This is
Wow.
amazing. Here we go. This is the last thing we're going to do. This is for 3 points. So I'm going to play with you guys. And the premise is
I thought you were a fan of playing by yourself or with
I
yourself.
play with myself quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's harder to do in a house full of women, though. You know,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
daughter,
sure,
I got my mother-in-law
sure.
that lives here, my wife. I have several
Sure.
wives since she's Mormon.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Oh,
work.
wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a
Yeah.
hot bit. It's a hot bit from a Twitter post in 2009.
Yeah, right.
Here we go, everybody. This is it. This is categories with buds.
Categories with buds.
The category today, we're going to go around the horn. We're going to name something from this category. We'll each name one until we can't think of one. We'll one by one get eliminated. The last person standing gets 3 points. This is categories with buds. And the category today is types of pop. And I say pop on purpose since we're all from
Absolutely.
Chicago. I
Good
moved out
old
to,
Midwestern,
I moved out to California and almost was forced to say soda
I
on
know.
several sets and things. So I'm going to say this is the pop round.
Can we at least...
You can do every type of pop as long as it is not. Let's not do generic brands. So we'll block out stuff like Dr. Thunder, which would be like the Jewel brand.
Right.
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
Okay.
So it has to be kind of a name brand pop. It could be the different varieties, and it could be stuff that they don't make anymore as long
Okay.
as it's different. Okay?
Right.
So I'm
Okay.
going to kick it off, and we'll go around. My first one is the pop. I'm going to say Pepsi.
I'll say Coke.
Diet Coke.
Sure. I'm going to say Coke Zero.
Pepsi Clear.
Yeah.
There you go.
Love it, Crystal.
7-Up.
7-Up. I'm going to say Cherry 7-Up.
I will say Cherry Coke.
Shasta.
RC Cola.
Squirt Soda.
Yeah. What did you say? Squirt?
Squirt Soda.
Soda.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, good.
Oh, Squirt. Diet 7-Up.
There you go. 50-50. Which,
Dr.
if you like it, how's that being a soccer mouth? That's what I want to say.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh man, he's got a scheme. I see
Yeah,
what his
right.
plan is. I am going to say A&W cream soda.
Diet Right.
Oh, if you like Diet Right, you're a real asshole.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that out there right now.
A&W root beer.
A&W root beer. I'm gonna say Mug root beer.
Dr. Pepper Vanilla.
Wow. Diet A&W root beer.
What an asshole. I'm gonna say the other root beer. Dad's root beer. Dad's.
Okay. Getting tight now.
Three
Pepsi
seconds.
1.
Pepsi
Oh,
One.
that's good. Diet Pepsi. 1.
I don't think that was a thing.
Pepsi One?
I don't think that
Pepsi
was.
One is the diet
Yeah,
version of a
right.
Pepsi.
Because they're
I'm
1
out.
calorie.
Jim,
I
eliminated.
was being really shitty anyway, so I deserve to be
Yeah.
out.
Well,
Now it's down to me and you, man. So now
Okay.
we keep going. So I'm going to say Pepsi Max, which is in my fridge right now. It's got a little
Pepsi
ginseng
Max.
in it.
Did anybody say Mountain Dew?
Nobody said it. I'm going to say Mountain Dew Code Red.
I'm going to say Diet Mountain Dew.
I'm going to say, oh boy, Pepsi Blue. Remember Blue Pepsi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A dumb idea.
Sure, Pepsi Blue.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many.
Diet Pepsi Blue.
Yeah. I'm sure there's so many more Mountain Dews.
Diet Pepsi Blue one, Max.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Right. That costs extra in Vegas.
Hey.
Anything? You got 3 seconds.
Yeah. I tap out.
Whoa, this is the first time in podcast history that I've actually won. I usually lose.
Yeah.
So I have the honor of awarding the points to who I see fit since I'm not really competing.
Wow.
So let's see right here. It is
Well,
8
let's
to
see
8.
Can I just
Who
plead
was-
my case that I went longer?
Who was that guy that got him on Parks and Rec and he got to see Rob Lowe show
I'm
the
gonna give-
video?
here's
Who
what
was
I'm gonna
that
do. I'm gonna
guy?
give
Yeah.
1 point to Jim.
Why do you meet that guy?
1 point to Matt. And then
He,
the
I'm
last
just
point.
saying you owe your whole career to knowing me.
All these things are
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a pretty awesome
Met-
thing I did by existing at the same time as you in the same place.
Met him at
so-
Starbucks. did some interview with some other chick who's following his career. I take care of Ashley when you're too tired.
the documentary moved to Abu Dhabi. No joke.
Seriously?
But Jim, I'm going to give you the point.
Yes.
Okay.
Wins the trivia competition.
The upside is that I am now Matt Duchovny.
Yes. Yes. Congratulations, Mr. Duchovny.
I believe you guys called that a callback.
Final score was 10 points for Jim O'Hare and 9 points for Matt O'Hare.
Wow.
Did you guys have fun on the podcast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean the company
you.
sucked, but other than that, it
Oh,
really
wow.
was awesome.
Thank you guys very much for coming into this shaded room that we store things in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm literally staying in your house this weekend. I didn't have a lot of choice.
You're kind of part of the thing.
I can leave.
I do have prizes. Your first place prize, Mr. Jim O'Hare, is Poems of the Great War, an anthology 1914 to 1918. Wow. That's a nice bathroom reader. You could stick that right in a pocket.
Riveting.
Matt O'Hare, this is 6. I'd Have a Blue Christmas Without You, Tobias. Christmas cards.
that's
Have
awesome.
yourself a Merry Christmas. May your times be gay. From my good friend Drew Blank, his real name, and he has a website called HeroSquares.com. These are Christmas cards with Arrested Development's Tobias.
Oh, those
So
are
you
cool.
got
Those are
six.
really
I
really
expect
well
to
done.
get one back.
Sure.
This
Yeah,
Christmas,
right.
Jim as
Sure.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Jim,
that's
you seem to have
yours.
dropped your Poems of Great War book.
Oh, dropped it again. Whoopsie.
It's a real.
You
Whoopsie.
dropped it in a fire that you lit with a small lighter, which was interesting. Yeah. You guys,
We
do you
have to
anything-
evacuate the building. now.
Anything you want to plug? Matt, you got anything coming up? Anything fun you want people to watch you?
Yeah, I'm going to be installing insulation in Chicago and Northwest Indiana.
And Northwest Indiana. Nice. Nice.
For the
How
next.
close is that to
for-
Gary? Because
for
I
the
have
ne-
a
oh,
free flight to
I spent a lot of
Gary
time
that
in
I've been
Gary.
waiting to cash in.
I'll be doing that for the next 30 years. So
Nice.
follow me on Twitter. O'Harakin_dream, like O'Hare mixed with the word American. If you can't figure that out, don't follow me.
O'Harakin_dream on Twitter. And Jim, you are just Jim O'Hare on Twitter.
Jim O'Hare. Yeah.
And
Jim
Middleman
O'Hare.
coming out sometime in the next year
Middleman.
for the mass consumption. And until then, watch the trailer, follow all the fun you guys are having at these different premieres.
I'm in the first 2 episodes, something of Brooklyn Nine-Nine this year.
Awesome.
Heading out to Atlanta to do the Soderbergh film. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Busy.
Nice.
You guys are the best. 2 of my favorite O'Hares of all time. Thank you guys so much for being here.
And the other
There's a
one's
bunch of
bad.
us too. Yeah.
We'll see you
There's
soon.
much better than us.
Yeah.
Chicago for life. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Listener quiz.
And there you have it. Mr. Jim O'Hare pulls ahead and beats his cousin Matt O'Hare in some amazing trivia about sitcoms throughout the decades and Johnny Cash material. Thank you guys for listening to this. It's now time for the listener quiz, where this week's winner will get a lighter bottle opener with the TriviaBuds.com logo on it. It says TriviaBuds.com, drink, smoke, party, because you can smoke with this lighter. You can open a bottle cap with this lighter, and it's all around good time. So here's a listener quiz. These are 3 random questions that we give every week, and all you have to do is tweet me the answers to these questions or email me, Ryan at Ryan Buds. On Twitter, I'm Ryan Buds as well. I'm pretty much Ryan Buds and everything. So find me on some kind of social media or email. Send me the 3 answers to these questions, and you will be entered in a raffle to win a Trivia with Buds lighter bottle opener. Here's your first question. Here it is. What singer was born Sherilyn Sarkisian? What singer was born Sherilyn Sarkisian? That's number 1. Here comes number 2. What pigment makes plants green? What pigment makes plants green? And number 3. What Australian snack is made from yeast extract left over from making beer? What Australian snack is made from yeast extract left over from making beer? Sounds gross, but if you know the answer to those 3 questions, send them to me, Ryan at ryanbuds.com for email, and then Ryan Buds and everything else, and you will be entered in a raffle to win that lighter bottle opener. Again, check me out. A couple fun events coming up. If you want to see me live, September 15th, you could see me at my brand new trivia night on Thursdays from 9:30 to 11. It is called the Brew and Meatball Company in Covina, and we will be doing Stranger Things trivia. So if you love the show Stranger Things, come check that out. September 15th, a little bit earlier on in that night at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 9, I will be out in that area as well in Upland doing a Bingo with Buds event at Last Name Brewing. So 7 to 9, come play bingo, and then shoot on over to the Brew and Meatball Company in Covina, not far from Upland, and play some trivia. Stranger Things will be talked about. September 17th, you can see my backyard show, Backyard Comedy Bash. Our stage is a small tree stump that was left in my yard at some point. I'll have a great lineup of music and comedy acts putting on an awesome show on my patio in my backyard. If you're near the West Hills, California area, hit me up, send me a message, and I'd love to have you come over and check out the Backyard Comedy Show. Finally, September 18th is that Brunch with Buds event. It will be on Sunday from noon to 2, and you can win a $100 bottle of wine just for playing trivia in a beautiful mountain hills setting on a golf course. You can't beat that. Also, I'm going to be doing this thing called the Trivia with Buds All-Stars event, where I invite pairs of people from all my different trivia nights around California over to my house to compete for a giant trophy in my backyard in a variety of trivia games. So come out and play this month. I'll be making those decisions on who those people are that are invited. It'll be a small group, probably 12 or probably between 10 and 20 people. And we'll be competing for a lot of fun stuff in my backyard, and we might tape that audio or video wise and get it up as a podcast or something to watch on Facebook. So if you want to be part of the Trivia with Buds All-Stars event, hit me up or let me know that you're good at trivia. That's it for this week's episode of Trivia with Buds. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe on iTunes, share this with a friend, leave a review. All that stuff helps get this show out to more ears. And I love you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.